Is this fine?
Yeah, we are audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are done. Hi guys. Due to the exam for juniors, we the program has been postponed for 2 weeks, and right now we are back. The program is going to continue, and we are sticking with the calendar. Yeah, let's wait for 2 minutes till everyone gets joined the session, and do share the link with your friends if anyone didn't join the session yet. Uh, just put it on high in the chat box so we can see whether you are able to send the messages or not. So we have 12 members right now. So we'll start at 7:10 exactly without wasting any further time. Hey, hi. Hi, Abhinaya. Hi, Malleshwar. Hi, Ishika. Let's wait for 1 more minute. Yeah, guys, let's get started. And it's right now 7:10. We'll start the session. And in previous first week, we have discussed like what are introduction to constant variables like keywords and data types. In this session, we are going to discuss the input and output operations along with that like decisions, conditions, and loops. And today's mentors are going to be Dheeraj. He's from second year, and Vishwani from second year, Department of AI. And we are also going to get we are there is one more mentor joining soon, Navya from third year, and I'm Karthik from third year Department of AI, Pro Cub of CodingCubs. And I hand it over to Dheeraj and take the session forward, Dheeraj. Dheeraj, you are on mute. You are on mute.
Thank you, Karthik. I'm gonna, continue this session by, starting the next topic. As we previously completed the variables and operate things, and I'm gonna continue with input and output operators and operations as well. So let's start.
Guys, if you have any, meanwhile, if you have any doubts, just put it in the chat box or else in the Telegram channel or any other community you have joined into. Seems like there is network issues. Dheeraj,
Hello.
are you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
Just
see the presentation?
no, it's loading. I think there might be some network issue. Just share your screen. Seems like it's taking too much time.
So before the presentation comes, so what do we know about input and output operators? So input is just an a data given by the user into a variable which stores it into a place for further future use or the current use. Whereas output is an operation which helps us to present the data on the screen or on the command prompt for the it's an output type of way. So we could also there are different ways in we could give an input or an output operation such as printf, scanf, get char, put char, get s and put s. So each one has its own definity. So just like that, example, printf is given by a parenthesis at the side with literals on them. So if we put a string in them, string in it, we're gonna print the string on the command prompt. So I'm gonna share my screen on with the compiler. Hope everyone can see the screen. So just like this, see, this is the hashtag includes studio where every scan of input output functions and operators are stored. It's a library where everything is stored. Whereas int main is a main block where we write the code. So example here we are given with a printf statement. Printf hello world with the literals. So for the output we're gonna get as hello world, just like this, hello world. So we could also take inputs from the user. Example, let us take an data type int with a variable x, and we're going to take the variable from the user just like using scanf. So here percentile d is an format specifier. We're gonna know about it further. Whereas here and percentile is the use to take the value we are giving using the scanf at the address of the variable. So it takes and stores in the address of the variable x, which is given as the value. So we're gonna print the value x now using the same format specifier percentile d. So when we run it, it's gonna stop and ask us the give us input of an integer type. So I'm gonna give it 10. So after we run it, it should return us with the value 10. See, it takes 10 and gives back us the 10. So just like that, we came to know about scanf and printf functions. So for different types of uh, for different types of uh, data types, we have different types of uh, format specifier. Just like for character, we have percentile C. Just for integers, we have percentile D. For float types, we have percentile F. For doubles, we have percentile LF, etc. So each thing has its own format specifier. So 1 minute, I'm gonna upload the PPT. So until the PPT gets here, I'm gonna also talk about get char and put char, where get char is a function which gets just a single character from a user, and put char takes the character and presents back to the display screen. Example, I'm gonna give an example. So let us take a character type variable char. Let's take it as x again. So we're gonna need to use not scanf get us. So we're gonna get char. So we're gonna take x, which gonna get the character, and we're gonna store it there. So we're gonna take the get char, use it in parenthesis. This is the format for get using a get char. Whereas far as put char, so it need it can be a character or can be an integer, because if we use an integer, it's going to take the ASCII value. So get char and put char, we're going to put the variable which has the value. So example, we're going to take x over here and then print it. So during the get char, we're going to get it's going to ask us for the input. So let's take it hello kilo. So when I'm gonna, do the code, and it returns h, which is only the first character of the string which I've entered. So get char only takes one and gives only one. Whereas we also have then other input output statements like get s and put s. So get s and put s are used just like get char and put char, but it is used for getting a string or a string or lines of code variables with us. So let us take an example. So how can we define a string? We don't have a special data type, right? We're going to use char with a variable followed by a subscript. So if we get a subscript, and we're gonna mention the size of this variable here. So let us take it as 100. It doesn't mind. So after that, let us use the getS and putS function, where getS takes a string from the user. So I'm gonna take the string of for the variable x from the user using the getS function. Then putS takes the same string and displays it to us. So example, I'm going to run it. So it's going to ask me for a string. So I'm going to say Hello, everyone. So it should return me with the same. See, it returns me the string. So you might have a question like, what is the difference between get s and put s? Scanf and get s. So they both take the strings with them, right? They both take the strings, but the difference between the two of them is when whereas difference between two others is get s takes a string with the spaces, whereas scanf does not. If scanf encounters a space between the string, then it takes infinitely many characters, and the code becomes infinite, which recursive function, which is a type of an error for a coder for beginners. So try to avoid that and use which is better than scanf for string type of methods. So let us move to our next topic: operators. Operator. What is an operator? Operator is a built-in. It's a built-in element or a symbol which can perform mathematical, logical based on the values provided. So what is where is an operator used? So operand, it is used on operands. So let us take an example of an expression here: 4 plus 5. So what are we doing here? It's an addition expression, whereas 4 and 5 are the operands, and plus here the symbol plus represents an operator. So here in C we could add, subtract, do many things with the operands using the way assigning the variables to them. So let us move on to the types of operators in C. So there are many type of operators. So let us start with arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, assignment operators, conditional operators, and special operators. So you might be thinking, where is the increment decrement operator? It is also within the increment decrement operator is a type of an arithmetic operator which comes under it. So what is an arithmetic operator? Arithmetic operator is a symbol used for doing addition or basic mathematical function like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So let us do a code on this. I'm going to share my screen. So let us take two variables where x contains the value 10 and y contains the value 20 perhaps. So next, what are we gonna do with these two? Is let us take another. Oh, it's character, right? We can't assign an integer to a character. So let us take another character called int, which has the value of which will has a variable of result. Okay. Then next, we're gonna assign the result as an addition of x plus y. So we're gonna print it now. So we're gonna print the result. So here, so once we are adding the variables x and y and putting the total addition value into the new variable called as result and printing the result here. So 10 plus 20, what would be the answer? 30, right? So here 30. It you know I did addition for the both variables. Just like that, for in arithmetic operators there is minus. We could use something like this. So y minus x. What would be the result? 20 minus 10 would be 10, right? Just like that. For multiplication, we don't use x like we do in our daily lives. So we're gonna use the key that is star, which multiplies the both. So 10 plus 20 gives us 200. See, just like that, we have divide is given by slash, and there is a special type of arithmetic operator known as modulus. Modulus operator is used to give us the remainder of between that after the division of two numbers, which is just like this. So 20 divided by 10, what would be the remainder? It would be 0, right? So we need to get 0, which is right. So let us move on to the next operator. Relational operator. Relational operator are used to check relation between two operands, such as if both operands are equal, if both are not equal, less than or greater than. So example, if let us take the example given there. There are two numbers, 14 and 7. We could say that 14 is greater than 7, which is true. And if it's true, the C returns as the value of 1. If it's not true, if example 14 is equal to 7, so 14 is practically not equal to 7, so it gives us back the value of false, which is 0 in this case. So let us know a short code on this. So before we getting that, the operators in relation are is equals to, whereas is equals to, just one is equals to is used for assigning values for the variables, but is equals to is practically saying are you equal to me or not. Whereas greater than is checked for greater than symbol, less than, not equal to is given by an exclamatory mark and is equals to. Greater or equal to, greater than symbol followed by an is equals to. So we're gonna check a small relational example. Um, so let us say x and y, which has an int result of whole thing. So I'm gonna put a parenthesis and check whether if x is equal to or y. So if x is equal to y, it returns us true. So and gives us a value of 1, which is kept into the variable result, and we're gonna print it. So when we're gonna print it, 0, because x is practically not equal to 10 is not equal to 20, right? So just like that, if we check that y is greater than x, which is true because 20 is greater than 10, right? So when we're gonna run it, we're gonna take set 1. This, my friends, is a relational operator. So moving on next, we're gonna logical operators. Logical operators are used there are three logical operators which are we are introduced in 10th, inter, etc., right? So these logical operators are mainly used in if else statements. So the three logical operators and, or, not. And is given by double percentile and percentile, whereas or is given by a double straight dash, and not is given by an exclamatory mark. So it is used to check with if where and returns true, which is 1 in case of C, when both the operators are a positive value. Example, if it's in C, everything is an true except 0. 0 returns a value of false, whereas every other integer gives us a value of true. Example, 32 it's true, 34 true, 64 true, just like that. If we compare two things and if both of them are true, then the and operator gives us the true. Whereas the or operator, if any single one operand is true, then it gives back as a true. Not operator just complements the given complements if the given if a variable is not equal to the complement of it, then it returns true, otherwise it returns false. So let us do a small code on this too. So let me present my screen. So once I present on my screen, let us check for x and y in the same way. So, but instead of 10 and 1, I'm going to give x a value as 1 and y value as 0. So when x and y. So what do you think? X and y. So if both of them are true, then it returns true, right? So if whereas x is 1, 0 is so we need to get false. So let's run this code and we're gonna get it false. But whereas when it is 1, both of them are true. So we need to get 1. So just like that, we're gonna check even for or operator. If one of them is true, then everything is true. So whereas x is true, so it's true. It returns as true value. Just like that, if we don't want the value of x, so we need a complemented value of x. So we're gonna introduce it a percentile exclamatory mark x. So here it's x. So we need to get the complement of x, which is 0 here. So moving on to the next is the increment decrement operator. These are it is a part of arithmetic operator, but increment decrement operator is used to add one or remove one of the numerical value assigned to the variable. So increment decrement operator has a two types: prefix and postfix. So prefix takes the incremented value, then uh, increments the given value, then prints as the incremented, gives it to the variable. But whereas for as post increment, first it gives gives the original value, previous original value of the variable, then gives increments the value. So it might be a little confusing. Let me explain with that code. So let us take one for our example. So if we remove this, let us take it. So we need x pre-increment, which is plus x. So there are types of increment too, which is plus operator twice before the variable is a post. After the variable is pre, and plus minus. We can just add one, or adding one is known as incrementing. Removing one is known as decrementing. So here plus one, we are adding. It's a post increment. So it all first increments, then gives us the original value. So I'm gonna give the difference between the post and pre-increment definitely. For the second one, I'm gonna take the value of y and decrement it as post. So here you'll know the difference. Slash n gives let us move to the next line. So here, the value of x is 1. When it is a pre-increment, it first increments and prints the value, whereas when it's incremented, the value is 2. So it for the first pre-increment, it's incremented and gives a value. So first for x it's 2, and for incremented x is also true. For decremented y, it gives it's an post expression, so it gives the previous original value, what is already declared over there, which is 0, then decrements is then the value of and given to the variable y, which is -1 here in this case. So moving on to the next, bitwise operators. Bitwise operators are just same as logical operators, but just performed in an binary form. So which is and operator, or operator, exclusive, or shift left. Mostly we use shift left, shift right bitwise operators to shift the digits, or two digits, or certain specified digits to the left or right. Mostly it is done on a binary level, so we only deal with zeros and ones. Assignment operator. Assignment operator is used to assign values to the variable in a faster or an exact way. Just like if we want to assign x, which is given by is equals to, or plus is equals to, minus equal to, which we can see that uh, x is equals to 25, which is given by x is equals to is an assignment operator. Whereas addition is equals to adds the previous value of x with 25, then gives back it to the same variable x. So we're gonna view the expression from the right to left. So I'm gonna drop up a code now. So let us take the one more variable, result, and result is gonna add, or the result original value let be 0 and will be added to a. So I will print the result. So when we're gonna do that, 0 plus 1, so result value should be 1. Excuse me. I'm getting a little compiling error over here. Let us continue. Assignment operator is used in such a way that from left to right, we're gonna add it and then give it to the same variable, or it is used same with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. Next, conditional operators. Conditional operators are rarely used, but it's a special type of operator where you give an expression which is condition. If it's true, it goes to the expression 2. Otherwise, it goes to the expression 4. It is just as a decision statement. You either take that or this. So if it's true, it returns the second values expression 2 is executed and expression 3 is ignored. Whereas if it's false, expression 3 is executed and expression 2 is ignored. Special operators at last. Special operators are operators where a size of operator is used to know the number of bytes of a variable or a data type takes. So example, an where integer takes 4 or 8, a float takes 4 or 8 or more, depending on the compiler it changes. And operator is used to assign the values to the address of the things. So next, whereas pointer operator is used in pointers, we'll discuss it further in the group. So I end my presentation here.
Yeah, thank you, Dheeraj. So, guys, we have discussed like what are arithmetic operations, what are relational operations, and logical operations bitwise, along with the following up operations. Now we have Neocub from second year, Vishwani. She will be explaining what are the conditions along with the code. We'll be having like practical session too with the code. So just take the pen and paper, like it's one-way communication. So just take the notes and write it down all the programming material into your code. Okay. Vishwani, are you here? Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, Vishwani. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Enjoy the session and take the session forward. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi. This is Vishwani here. So, without waste of time, let's get into the topic. Today, we are going to discuss about conditional statements, decision statements. Let me share. So is my PPT visible?
Not yet, not yet. I think it's uploading. It's uploading.
So yeah, condition statements. Day to day life, we make a lot of decision statements where we see like what to do or what not to do, right? So on what factor we decide it is a condition. A condition can be a value or an expression which we decide whether to do a work or not, right? So let's see how that works in coding language. How we make statements or a condition, whether the code should be executed or what the outcome must be. So let's see. These are the types of decision control statements which we use in this program. If else, nested if else, else if ladder and switch statements. Through these methods, we gonna decide whether the code should be executed or not. So first, let's go with if. Simple if. So simple if is a code where we just give a condition and a statement block which executes if the condition is true. The condition may be like a value or an expression, as Dheeraj previously said, a relation operator or a logical operator can be used in these conditions. So the how this execution actually works is where we start a program and the condition will be checked in this if condition. If it is true, then the if body, this statement block will be executed. If it is false, then the other part of the program which is not under this if block, that will be executed. So let's see a simple program. Mm. So everyone, can they see this? Okay. So firstly, let's go with the if simple if. So let's take an example of group of 5 friends deciding whether they go to college or a movie, right? We all do that. So on what basis we are going to decide is the majority of the people, I mean among the friends, whatever they say, all together will do that, right? So here let's take a group of 5 people. Uh, Among them, 3 are willing to go to movie, and the majority, whatever the majority is, that we follow, right? So let's say int n is equals to 5, so 5 members. Then let's say int I, print number of students willing to go movie. Okay. Then if the condition comes here, if I mean, yeah, I less than or equal to the majority, means half of the students, more than half, right? So n, the operator we are using here is division, n by 2, and the block of this starts here. So what we are going to do is print go to movie as the majority is greater. Okay, this is a simple if. Let's run this. Oh, sorry, I didn't give your scanf. Until D. Right? So, oops, wait a minute. let's say 3. So number of students willing to go to movie, let's say 3 members. Then it decides to go to movie. Okay. This is a simple if statement which tells if it is true, then the work is done. So let's see with the the next part. This to the slide. Karthik, hello.
Yeah, Vishwan, I'm here. Any issue?
Yeah, my PPT
Yeah,
isn't
here. Here,
shared.
here.
Yeah, let's go to the second block. Yeah, if else. We have seen if the condition is true, then the block is executed. We got the output. What if the condition is false? What it will do? So we use an else keyword where it has a block to execute if the condition is false. How it will be executed is start the program. If the condition is checked, if it is true, then if body will be executed. If it is false, then it goes to the else body where the code is present for which is false to be executed. Then the both will be executed end of the program. So let's see an example for this also. What here we have taken just if it is true, then go to movie. What if it is false? Then we'll keep an else block here, giving this printf statement. Then go to college. So what this gives? So number of students, let's say it's 2 itself, not willing to go to movie. And hmm, wait a second.
Try with 0 and 5 and then check it out. Try with
0
0.
5.
Try with 0.
Okay. Yeah. So 0 are willing to go to movie, then it's going to the college. Again, we'll see with the 5. So it's not having. I think some. Okay.
So if there are no people, no one is interested in getting for movie, they will go to college. If 5 people are interested in movie, they will go to movie. It's simple.
Okay, let's go to the other one. Some. Next, we have if else and then else if ladder. Right? Hello. Yeah. Nested if else. Here we do a condition inside a condition. I mean, there are if a condition is true, then we'll check to the other condition where it is nested in itself. I mean, if body. So here the syntax for it is if and within that block we have another condition to be executed and we have else for that else for whole program. Okay, the first one. So how executes is first condition which we have given is checked. If it is true, then it enters into the block where the second condition is checked, and if it is true, then out of the block. If the second condition is false, then it goes to the else block of that second condition, and that will be executed. If nothing is true, the last else block will be executed. So let's try out of this problem too. So let's take an example of mm, let's an int n. We'll see whether it is greater or equal or else age. We'll go with a job where we are seeing the age of the workers and we'll be selecting whether they are eligible or not. So let's say int n is equals to some 18. Then if the condition is greater than or equals to 18, then in the if condition we'll be having another if block to check the second condition. So called it is nested in itself. So n should be less than or equals to 60 also. There should be not more old people or else not for the minor one this job. Okay, then if both the conditions are satisfied, then they are eligible. Then what if this condition is false? So we keep an else block here, then printf not eligible. So for this if block, for the first condition we should have an else block here. So here we'll give print let's say less than 18, so minor. So now let's see any mistakes. Oops. Wait a second. You may have a doubt whether if we want this else for everything, we should write this else. Is it compulsory? The answer is no. It's your wish to take the else or not. So we didn't close this actually. We'll close here. Done. So yeah, the n which we have given is 18. So 18 is greater than or equal to 18, done. And it is less than 60, yes, they are eligible for the job. So what if we give, let's say 68. So they are not eligible because they are greater than 68. What if the condition itself is, the first condition is false? So they are minor, right? You got it? So this is the nested if else where the one condition is nested inside a condition. So let's go to other one slide. To the slide. Yeah. So else if ladder. We have seen a condition inside a condition, but what this is this in this else if ladder, we have a lot of else blocks where the condition is given to the else block. See, if this condition first else if statement is wrong, then it has a lot of more conditions to be checked, then we give it in else if block. So how it executes is, if this condition, first condition whichever we given is false, then it goes to the second one, and then third one, and then fourth one. So as long as the condition, I mean, is whether it's true or false, it's been checking for all their statements. So let's see sample program for that too. Mm, let's int n, and relation between two numbers will be doing, let us 7. Then if first, sorry, if both are equal, then print equal, else. So else if we are giving a condition within this also, as n is greater than m, then the block will be of printf n is greater, or else we have another relation also, we'll just give it in the else block, printf n m is greater. So we have given n as 8, m as 7. So it checks the first condition if they are equal. No. So what the next one is, else if. It is false, so it's going to the next statement, else if. So n is greater than m. Yes. 8 is greater than 7. So the block is executed and it's out of the block. If what if the other part of the program present? Let's say hello. Then yeah. Mhm. Yes. So it executes everything and just come out of the statement and blocks, and the remaining part of the program will be also executed. So like this. Mm. Next, let's go to switch. This in this switch we have cases where the condition should be matched with a case, then the particular case block will be executed. For example, we have relations like there is a choice, like we want multiplication of a number, addition of a number, subtraction of a number. Then there are a lot of uh, operations to be done, so we'll just keep in a switch box where the condition will be matched with a case label, then the particular case block will be executed. So here we have more keywords like case and default and break. See, the case is just a part of a switch where it's a block where the expression is matched to the case label, then it is executed. And break we use here because, see, if normally the break use is to terminate the program to the next part, means it comes out of the block where it is present actually. So the break we use because the expression is matched already in the case we got, then there is no need to check the other cases also, right? So we'll just come out of the block. So we use break there, and the default is whether you have given a choice where it doesn't match to any cases, then it just executes the default block. That's it. So there is no you actually no like specific particularly there is no need to mention it a default by it's, yeah, it's not mention mandatory to mention it. So we'll see a program on it. Let's say there is, let's say we'll have a character and the operations, arithmetic and division we are going to perform. Then int n or choice, let's say printf, enter choice. Let's say 1 we have multiplication and 2 we have division, 3 we have subtraction. Scanf. Then in the switch we give a condition choice. We'll just pass it. Then case 1, as we have given the 1 2 3 like numbers to the as an input, so we keep the label as those numbers which are the values of choice. Okay, so case 1 will be printf. Let's say it's multiplication, right? Is percentile d. So we haven't given the numbers. Let's just give n is equals to 3 and int m is equals to 4. So let's just multiply them here n into m. Then case 2 will be printf division. Then case 3 we let's see like default printf wrong statement, right? Let's see this if it is works. So first they're asking enter the choice. So one is multiplication, division and subtraction. Let's say we'll go with 1. Oops. Segmentation fault. Let's run this again. Segmentation fault. I think the compiler has some problem. need to code again.
So the thing is like you have missed like scan of the word. You
It's
haven't taken
gone.
it. Yeah, take your time.
Yo, yeah. Okay. Should I do it again? Hmm. Yeah. Here in this sit statement, like we are deciding the grades of a student. Let's say, can you see the screen? Hello.
Yeah, it's funny. I can see the
Let
screen. Yeah, just go ahead.
Let me do
This
another
which
program
case?
on switch models. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I can see.
Can you see this?
Yes, it's visible. Go ahead.
Yeah. Here we have taken a grade character. I mean, a grade. So it decides whether the student is how the performance of the student is based on grades. Okay. Let's say we have or more cases. Mm, excellent. Something. Sorry. Let me. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Already we are getting it. Bad. What this? See, we have given. Okay. Out. This may be the other part of the program. So here inside the switch statements, we have given case A, B, C, and the grade which we have declared here as B. Why we are getting all good and bad? Let's see the reason. Because we have a statement between the cases, right? If there is no break statement, all the cases will be like executed.
Why don't you remove that hello world? Keep it as done, like we done grading them.
Yeah, I mean it's the other pro part. Okay, we'll give,
Yeah, that's all.
or else we can give it in a
It
default
would avoid the
also.
confusion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. And let's say this new line character also it will be looking good. Mm, yeah. Here we are. So before we have seen good and bad, the both have executed because there is no break statement in between the cases. So here the grade B is matched with the case grade B. So the inside the statement of case B, the good is executed. I mean the block is executed and we got the output as good. So finally the out part of the program, the other part, here we are done and this is also executed. Done. I think it's done with this conditional statements. Once come to the PPT. Yeah, actually we are done with this decision statement. Hello Karthik.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Vishwani. Like we have discussed like all the if else, and switch cases. And Navya, are you here? Navya.
Yes, Kartik, I'm there.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah. You're audible. Turn on your camera and just share your PPT. And
Yeah,
Navya will be explaining
yeah.
the loops in C language, what are loops, and second. Yeah. You're visible and you're audible. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. PPT, I'm sharing the PPT.
Mm-hmm.
Is it visible?
Guys,
Is it
meanwhile, if you
visible?
have any questions like the topics which has taught by Dheeraj and Vishwani, if you have any doubts, you can put it in the chat box. Uh, we'll try to answer them. Yeah, go ahead, Navya, please.
Yeah, I'm here to discuss about the concept of loops. Basically, a loop is used to execute the block of code several times according to the condition in the loop. It means we will be executing the same code multiple times until the condition fails. Once the condition fails, the loop terminates and it skips to the rest of the code. We have basically two types of loops. They are like entry control loop and exit control loop. In entry control loop, the condition will be checked at the initial level. It means at the entry itself. Like if the condition is true, then the code inside the loop will be executed. If not, the loop it will break the loop. Whereas in entry exit control loop, but here we have a the condition will be checked after the statements will be executed at least once out of the loop. Here let's talk about this in detail. Here in entry control loop, as mentioned, we have for loop and while loop, whereas in exit control loop, we have do while loop. For loop, the it means once the condition, it is a example of entry control loop. Here, the block of statements will be executed several times according to the condition given in the loop. When we come to the syntax of for loop, we have initialization, condition, and increment and decrement. Here, after initializing, like for suppose we can take any example like I equals to 0, 1, 2, so according to our code given. And once after initializing, then we go to the condition. After the condition, the code will be executed based upon the condition is checked. And then if the condition is true, then the code will be executed and it will go to the increment operator. And it will be continuing in a loop until then the condition will be failed. Once the condition fails, it comes out of the loop. Let's see the flowchart of it. See, here we have the initialization part wherever loop starts to be where the loop starts, and then here it is the condition. As you all know, the condition is represented in diamond symbol because it is the decision making. Here, when it is true, the statements in our code will be executed. The block of statements which are inside the loop will be executed, and then it will be incremented. And again, the condition checks for second iteration. If the condition is false, then the for loop ends. I hope you are clear with the for loop. And for while loop, here it is also a entry control loop. In while loop, the code execute until the condition is false.
Navya,
And the
sorry for
syntax,
interrupting.
yeah,
Uh, the PowerPoint presentation is stuck on like what is loop itself. It's not moving.
is
Can you
it?
just tell me?
One second.
You're on which slide?
I'm on two types
Yeah,
of loops.
it's working now. And can you just make it full screen?
I have switched it. Did you see this?
No, 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 no. It's right now the slides on two types of loops. Yeah, please
Still, is it
continue.
on two types of loops?
Yes, it's on two types of loops right now.
Okay, two types of loops are entry control loop and exit control loop. For entry control loop, we have for loop and while loop, whereas for exit control loop, we have do while loop. First, for loop. Let us discuss about for loop. In for loop, it is used to execute the block of code several times according to the condition given in the loop. It means it executes until the condition fails. For suppose, let us take the syntax. For initialization, condition, increment, and decrement. Here in the for loop, we will be initializing the variable at first, and then the condition will be checked. If the condition is true, then the block of statements inside the loop, it means the code inside the loop, will be executed for once, and then it will be incremented or decremented based upon the code we write. And if the condition fails, then it will be terminated from out of the loop. So let's see the flowchart of for loop. First initialization, then it checks the condition. If condition is true, then only the statements will be executed. If the statements are executed, again we have, as we have increment and decrement, the operation works, and then again the statements will be checked for second iteration. I mean the condition will be checked for second iteration. Again, if it's true, then the statements will be worked as it is and they will be executed, and then it will be checked again for second increment or decrement operation until the condition fails. Once the condition fails, the for loop terminates, and this is the end of the for loop. Next, while loop. In while loop, the loop executes until the condition is false. The syntax of while loop is while condition and the block of code. Let's see the flowchart of while loop. Um, Here, the while loop and conditional code. First, as we enter into the while loop, first it checks to the condition, and if it is the condition is true, then the conditional code will be executed. It means the block of code which we write inside the while loop will be executed for once. And if the condition fails, then the loop will be terminated and the statement will come out of the loop. Control will be coming out of the loop. If it is true, the conditions will be executed and the loop will be ready for the second iteration. Again, the condition will be checked. Again, the condition will be, if it is true, it will be executed and it will be checked for second iteration. Once if the iteration fails, the condition fails, then it comes out of the loop and it terminates the loop. Next, let's see about do while loop. Here, as we know, the do while loop is an exit control loop. It executes the code until the condition is false. It at least once the code is executed, whether the condition is true or false. But this is not the case with while loop. Whereas in while loop, we know that only the code executes if the condition is true. But whereas in do while loop, all the code will be executed whether the condition is true or false, but it is only for one case, but it is only just for once. So if we see the syntax of do while loop, we have do and then the block of code, then while, and here we have condition. Whereas in while loop we have condition at the beginning and then we have the block of code. In do while loop we have do and the block of statements and then the condition. Let's see the flowchart of do while loop. Here, the iteration starts. The condition will be checked. The conditional code. Once the condition is checked here, if the condition is true, again it executes the block of code. And if
Now,
the condition is false, what
sorry
happened?
again. Uh, the slide is on while loop again. Yeah, it's
Now,
working. Yeah, it's
is
on do
it do
while loop.
while?
Right. Yes, yes.
Okay. So similarly, is in while loop, it is as similar as while loop, but it is an exit control loop. So here in while loop, we know that the condition will be executed only the loop will be executed only if the condition is true, and if the condition is false, it terminates out of the loop. Here in do while loop, whatever the code you write, it will be executed at least once, and then the condition will be checked. If the condition is true, it will go for further iterations, and if not, it terminates out of the loop. Here is the flowchart for do while loop. Here we are writing the conditional code for do while loop, and then here it is. Here the condition is checked. If the condition is true, again the block of statements will be executed for other iteration. If the condition is false, then the control will be jump out of the loop. Am I clear? Next, let's see the coding part of this. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, I'm just adding 1 second. Yeah, try just restarting, resharing once again. Like stop it and just reshare it again once again.
Okay.
Guys, if you have so far any doubts, you can put it down in the chat box, or you can just tag the cups in the Telegram channel. Like there are like 700 people on Telegram channel. You can just jump down there and tag your question with the admin. We'll have the same names on the Telegram channel. Uh,
Is this
Till now, if
screen
you have any
visible
doubts,
now?
guys, just reply in the chat box once again. Like I just want to clarify that. Till now, you have any doubts? Till now. Yeah, your screen is here now.
Is this screen visible, Karthik?
Yes, now, yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. Let's see the examples for the loops as we discussed earlier. So first, let's solve the example of for loop. I'm just taking the simple example so that you can easily understand what is the concept behind. So let's see the sum of numbers in the for loop using for loop. I'm specifying int I and n for declaring the number of digits, and then the variable sum. Here, let me write a statement of printf for understanding purpose. Scanf. I'm sorry. Actually, I need to write here scanf itself. It's okay. Here we are taking the for loop. As in for loop, first we have to initialize. For initializing purpose, I have mentioned here I. And let's initialize as I equals to 0. And then second is condition. Let me take I is less than or equals to n. We need to enter the numbers here. It is a user input. I'll be giving it. And incrementation operator, I++. And here it is the block of code inside the loop. And for as we are doing sum of numbers, let's take sum equals to sum plus I. Because every number we add to it and it will display the sum. Semicolon, and then we'll be coming out of the loop and we will be printing the sum. Okay, let me run the code. 1 second. No, I have missed a second. Okay. And one more thing, I have just declared the int I, n, and sum. Here, when it is sum equals to sum plus I haven't initialized sum equals to anything. So let me initialize it to 0 because after this sum equals to 0, first the sum will be 0 and then sum equals to sum plus I, sum will be 0 plus 0, it will be 0 when and I plus plus. It means I will be incremented to 1 and it goes inside the loop and sum equals to at first it is as it is 0, it will remain as 0 and sum equals to 0 plus I is incremented to 1. So 0 plus 1, then the sum is now 1. Again, I equals to 1 after 2. Now I is 2 and the sum is 1. Sum equals to sum plus I. Here the sum becomes 3 and it goes on so on so forth. So let's execute and run this code. Here it is executed and let me give the numbers as 10. Yeah. So it is first 10 natural numbers. The sum is 55. I hope you get the logic here. It is the basic sum of n numbers using for loop. I hope I'm clear. So let's try with a while loop. And let me take another example. For while loop, let me take a palindrome function. Hash include. I'm initializing int n as a number that we want to take. And as you know, in palindrome means the number, suppose if we have the number as 1 to 1. And from the reverse, it is also when we reverse the number, again we get the output as 1 to 1. So from it is the same from the beginning and also from the end. So this is called as palindrome. When we even reverse the number, we need to get the same output, like 1 to 1 and 1 to 1. So in the case, I will be taking a reverse variable like r, and then I will be writing the sum equals to 0. I will be explaining this in the further steps. And let me take a variable called temp also here, because we need to store the value of the previous declared variable in this temp variable so that we can compare in the palindrome, like whether the temp and the number which we have chosen are matching or not. You will be understanding in further steps. And let me take a printf statement here. Enter a number. And let's give the scanf statement too. After giving these printf and scanf statement, we need to make sure that whether our number the number which we have given is similar to the number which we have chosen. So let's take temp equals to n. We are comparing the number, and then here we will be writing a while loop while n greater than 0. This is the condition which we have given in our while loop, and let's open the block of code in the while loop. Here r equals to n percentile r equals to r percentile 10. As we have said, r is the reminder. Once if we give the number like 123 and r percentile 123, suppose n percentile 123, second, n percentile 123, n percentile 10, it means we will be getting the remainder as 3, and we'll get sum equals to sum into 10 plus r, and n equals to n by 10. And this is the end of the for loop. And out of the loop, we will be comparing the digits, like if temp equal to sum, then printf, it is palindrome, else printf not. It means not palindrome. So I hope it's clear, and let's see the output. What do we get? 1 second, we have got the error here. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was using Python syntax. It's okay. Let's see. Yeah, our code is executed, and let me give the number as 131. And here, as it is a palindrome, 131, it has printed as palindrome. So I hope I'm clear with the while loop. Here the while, it checks the condition. Once if the condition is true, then only the statements will be executed out of the loop. So let me take the example for do while loop. Let me make it in a short. One second. Yeah. So let me declare int a equals to something as 10, and here let me give the simple example for do while loop, and directly I'm taking do while loop here. In do printf, let's take the value of a as a percentile d, and let me print a itself. Let's increment a equals to a plus 1. And here we need to put our condition like while a less than 20. Fine. I forgot to mention that do while loop, in do while loop, while ends with the semicolon. If not, it gives the error for you. It's the syntax to be followed. Let me execute the do while loop. What have happened? Give me a second. So let's see here. Yeah, here it have printed all the numbers between range 1 to 19 as we have given a equals to 20. Let me give backslash n for the clear understanding purpose so that, yeah. As you see, here it have entered 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's some error, I think. Let me give it again. Yeah, here, yeah. So we have got the output as we have given the while loop after the do. The condition here before the loop, it has executed for once, that is 10. And then we got the condition and the statements have iterated until the condition fails and we got till output till 19 as we have given a is less than 20. I hope I'm clear with this. So, any queries till now?
Yeah, guys, if you have any queries, you can put it in the chat box. Like we are running out of time. It's almost 8:40. We have to close at 8:30 every day. Like for 90 minutes, it's for sure. And some of the topics where the programming part was left out due to the time limit. So we'll cover that in the next class. So in tomorrow session, week 2, Python language, we'll be covering strings, exception handling, functions, and modules in Python. So the tomorrow mentors are Anushna Niyokab, Chinni Krishna the Pro Cub, the mentor, and Navya. These are the three people. They will be covering these topics tomorrow. And in today's topic, we have discussed operations, conditions, and loops. And till now, if you have any doubts, you can put it in the chat box. Till we have 3 more minutes left for 8:40, the doubt session. I'm just adding all mentors. Yeah. And I also dropped the attendance link. Just fill it out the form. So you'll be getting the certificate from CodingCubs as well as the Coding Ninjas at the end of the sessions and the program. So right now there are 10 guys, 10 people on session. I just need some response from you guys. If you, how did the session went all? Yes, any doubts? No doubts, something. Yeah, seems good. There are no queries from your side. If there are any queries, you can just come on to Telegram or WhatsApp groups and you can tag us if you have any questions, or you can personally ping on our LinkedIn or Instagram. See you soon tomorrow session. Until then, bye bye.